Hey, everybody. Super intriguing chat today with the best kept secret in the cloud industry, in my opinion, OVH Cloud. Philip, how are you?
Hi there, Evan. Well, thanks. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you as well. I'm really excited for this chat. We have lots to dive into. Before that, OVH is a brand well known in Europe, but a little less known here in the US. Maybe introduce yourself and tell us more about OVH Cloud.
Yes, great. Thanks, Evan. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, just a bit about me. As you heard, Philip Murray. So I've been in the startup ecosystem now for more than 20 years. Worked in the VC industry, tech transfer, spinning technologies out of universities. Also run a few business incubators and currently heading up the OVH Cloud startup program globally. For those of you that don't know OVH Cloud, we are a leading European cloud provider. We have 1.6 million customers served by 42 global water-cooled data centers offering
Wow.
data sovereign cloud solutions that includes bare metal servers, public cloud, and hosted private cloud solutions. Um, yeah, that's kind of a basic introduction to who OVH Cloud is.
Yeah, and you have quite a unique and differentiated product offering, but we're in a world of big tech, right? So Google and Amazon and Microsoft swimming around. So how do you position yourself in this world of hyperscaler giants? Tell us about a little bit about your high level value proposition.
Yeah, great. So our vision is really to give our customers the freedom to innovate with their data, right? So we don't use our customer data anyway to make money or to build competing solutions, for example. So we also then provide a cloud that is technology free, so tech freedom, interoperable, and we provide a lot of transparency in terms of costs and things like that. So if you build something on our cloud, you're going to be very interoperable with other clouds. So that's one of the reasons why for me the value proposition is amazing for startups, because we give you that flexibility when you're starting out to remain flexible on your tech stack, to remain agile, and on top of that, because we give you this freedom, you can move your data to wherever you need it at no cost, which is also an essential, feature when you're wanting to innovate and scale rapidly. And we don't lock you in, right? Because we are interoperable, you are not stuck with proprietary solutions when you're using us. We are very open standards driven, which again gives you that freedom to innovate, choose solutions that are going to work for you. And that's a good summary in terms of our value proposition.
Well, it's a great start. And of course, you're attracting startups to the cloud, and hopefully they'll grow up one day to be unicorns. And tell us about your startup program, how it started, and how it's evolved over the years.
Yeah, great. So, in line with the company's vision, as I said, to give our customers the freedom to innovate with their data, the startup program vision is to empower entrepreneurs to achieve their ambition, and how we do that. The founder of OVH Cloud, Octave Clubber, is still very much involved with the company, and so that kind of startup mentality is there. So we really want to support startups. As I said, the value proposition of the company is very well suited to startups because of that technology freedom. So you're not locked in. So you got that flexibility and agility to change direction if you need to. Our pricing is very transparent. So you kind of see what you see is what you pay for. No surprises, right? No,
Mm.
we don't have complex pricing models, which can be one of the things that traps startups as well, because they struggle to understand what their cloud costs are, particularly when things start to change rapidly in terms of scaling. And so all of these things, really make us a good place for startups and scale ups. In terms of the startup program itself, we offer a company journey onto our cloud for startups and scale ups, as I said, offering up to €100,000 in free cloud credits. It's $120,000 in terms of the US market. And and that also comes with free technical consultation time as well. In terms of the startup program value proposition, it's very much around personal touch, right? So, in terms of uniqueness compared to other startup programs, you get personally onboarded by a manager in your region, right? Then we'll find out what your tech needs are, and we'll connect you with our pre-sales engineers or our professional services team to understand what your tech needs are and to help you architect on our cloud. So we can really help you to fight those fires in terms of um, of migrating to our cloud or making best use of the open source solutions that we offer on our cloud. And yeah, so startups we've got two levels. We've got a start level and a scale level. Startups get 6 hours of free technical consultation time, and scale ups up to 20 hours of free technical consultation time. And yeah, so that's a real benefit, just in terms of cloud costs. One of the big things that affects cloud costs is inefficient cloud architectures. And
Mm,
so, yeah, you've got one time with an engineer to help you make sure you get the most efficient cloud architecture when you work on our cloud already, so that you're starting off with an efficient architecture that's going to mean lower costs as well.
that's
And yeah,
fantastic. And I see a lot of references here on your webpage to transparency. What does that mean exactly in terms of a cloud strategy?
yeah. So when startups and scale ups are developing, things are happening rapidly. They've got a lot of fires to fight. Often they're scaling quickly. They don't have a lot of time to figure out, what are the best solutions to use. They don't immediately know all the details in terms of these complex pricing models that the cloud can have, and this can lead them to get into trouble, as I said,
Mm,
if there isn't transparency around pricing and things like that. So um, really, our model, as I said, is very, what you see is what you pay for. Pay by the hour, pay by the month, depending on what you choose, and areas where there can be a lack of transparency is, for example, around bandwidth costs. So the data that gets transferred to and from the cloud with the solution that you have deployed on the cloud, your ingress and your egress costs. This can be significant depending on the type of solution that you have deployed. And do you understand those costs on your cloud? If you want to move your data from one cloud provider to another, does your cloud provider allow you to do that free of charge? All these kinds of questions is where you should be asking the questions of your cloud provider. Do they provide that kind of transparency for you, so that when you're moving fast, when your the number of customers is increasing rapidly, and you now have a lot of data moving to and fro, when you need to scale to new regions and you need to
mm.
meet maybe specific data sovereignty requirements in a new region, and you need to use another cloud provider, are you able to move your data freely so that you can meet the needs of your customers in these other regions?
Sounds like there's a lot of potential pitfalls here that many folks aren't aware of when they choose their provider. And FinOps is all the rage these days, doing more with less and controlling costs. I mean, what are some of the areas that businesses need to watch out for in terms of cloud costs? What are some of the hidden gotchas, and what do you offer there in terms of FinOps strategy?
Yeah, so um, just some of the latest data by Forrester is that cloud costs are, on the increase. So more so in the next 2 years than in the last 2 years. And related to that same report that I was looking at, the respondents reported that 72% of them had exceeded their cloud budgets in the previous kind of fiscal year. This is the 2023 report by Forrester. And the main reasons that were cited for exceeding their costs were, first of all, excessive storage, right? So 52% mentioned excessive storage. Then a bandwidth overutilization, the topic that I just mentioned, 42%. And then also inefficient architectures, which I've also touched on, 40% of them mentioned. So those were kind of the three key areas where cloud budgets can easily overrun. And then there's also interesting articles like the one by Andreessen Horowitz, the US VC, on the cost of cloud. They released an article back in 2021 just about how the cost of cloud is affecting the valuations of listed software companies. And how they were recommending that that first of all that portfolio companies that you start monitoring the cost of cloud as a metric, because obviously once you start measuring it, you can react to it, right? So there tends to be this reactive approach to cloud costs. Be proactive, measure it up front, and then you can react to it. So this is sort of some of the issues around cloud costs that are there. So as I mentioned before, in terms of this bandwidth overutilization, make sure you understand what your cloud provider is doing in terms of is charging in terms of moving of data. In terms of architecture, cloud architectures, make sure you're getting support in order to better architect your solution on the cloud. And then also avoid vendor lock-in, right? So avoid proprietary solutions, adopt open source solutions and market standards, platforms and APIs, which means that you have that flexibility to move to make sure that you can get the best costs and the best technologies at all times. Yeah, so that's some of the ways to mitigate. And then the types of solutions that you can provide. Also, there are different cloud solutions. One of the great things about OVHcloud is we offer this broad set of solutions. So it's public cloud, which is the highly scalable, flexible kind of shared hardware. Spin up instances and pull them down again when you're not using them. Only pay as you go. So pay for what you're using, which is amazing for when you're starting out and you're scaling, you going to new regions. You've got your number of users increasing rapidly. But then when you get into later stages of growth, you want to start optimizing around cost, and then you can move over to our solutions like our bare metal solutions, which offer you better price performance. And so you can start planning to shift workloads onto different cloud solutions as your company grows. So that's something, again, where our engineers can actually help you to start thinking about that, early on. And this actually, like Andreessen Horowitz said, can actually improve your valuation of your company in the future. And then there are tools out there, that you can use to analyze your cloud costs across different cloud providers, which are can be useful as well. I mentioned there's some in this white paper that we've recently released on FinOps. And so you can actually have tools which you can compare, beforehand as well. This is our architecture. What is it going to cost on OVH? What's it going to cost on another cloud provider? So that can also be a good way of understanding, upfront what you can expect from different providers.
Oh, it's really helpful. And a lot of enterprises are seeing the benefits of multi-cloud as a strategy and leveraging best of breed. What do you see in the multi-cloud space? And you seeing, in practicality, in reality, how many clouds are some of these global enterprises supporting these days? I'm seeing pretty much everything under the sun. It's really interesting versus 3, 5 years ago, how
Yeah.
Amazon was the only game in town to now multi-cloud is a normal kind of business strategy.
Yeah, and it might seem counterintuitive that a cloud provider is talking about about multi-cloud, right? But as I said, our vision is to give our customers the freedom to innovate with our data. So we want them to have that flexibility, the interoperability,
Mm,
and again, the latest reports. So the 2024 Flexera State of the Cloud report actually indicated again that globally companies are adopting multi-cloud. 89% of the respondents said that they had a multi-cloud approach. Only 10% had a single kind of public cloud
wow.
um, strategy. Yeah, which is really interesting, right? Um, and and the main benefits of multi-cloud are first of all around kind of IT cost management and return on investment. Different cloud providers have different technical and cost benefits. So being multi-cloud means that you can tap into all of these benefits in the location that's relevant for you, right? Because like different locations have different data requirements and things like that that you need to be able to solve for. Then you've got benefits around infrastructure management and flexibility. So being multi-cloud means that you don't have vendor lock-in, and you can offer better latency for your customer, right? You can find data centers that are closer to your customer, which is going to give them a better experience with your solution. And then finally, around compliance and security. So being multi-cloud means that you can deploy the best security where it's needed the most. And also you can, in terms of data sovereignty, you can also find a cloud provider that offers the right kinds of local data legislation requirements that you need for your customers. And then finally, with security, being multi-cloud means now you have an extra layer of redundancy now, because you redundant in terms of not only location but also in terms of cloud provider as well, which means better
All right.
backup and disaster recovery solution.
Yeah, lots of benefits there. Now, you also support large enterprise, global enterprise, but also small and medium-sized businesses who often get left out of leading edge tech. How does that work? How do you manage to support businesses of all sizes?
Well, so I mean, as much as our solutions are relevant to startups and scale-ups, they're just as relevant to to larger enterprises as well. Um, yeah, in terms of so there's particular industries, for example, where where the other hyperscalers tend to be focused more on public cloud. We have, for example, bare metal solutions, which allow you to they basically you rent the hardware and then you choose your operating system. On top of that, it gives you a lot of flexibility and better price performance, and that's particularly applicable to industries like blockchain
Mm,
and those type of industries where you really want a good price performance. Um, yeah, so it depends on the applications, but we have a number of industries which really benefit from using our solutions because of the price performance we offer, the flexibility, the tech freedom. Yeah, that really helps, and particularly also around solutions where there's a lot of data transfer, like I said, so like streaming applications
mm,
and things like that, where data transfer becomes a significant cost to deploy those applications.
fantastic. Um, and it's known you in Europe tend to take data security, data privacy, compliance seriously. Unlike in the U.S., we're a bit laissez-faire. But how does that impact you and your business in terms of all those European requirements, being a European company?
Yeah, so we are European headquartered. We do have a US entity which
Hmm.
looks after our US companies, our US customers, and we actually have data segregation between the US and the rest of the world to
Mm,
make sure that our European customers and other parts of the world have real true data sovereignty in terms of
mm,
complicated data transfer that can happen today with with the way software is set up. So at a basic level, we have some kind of a segregation of data to make sure that our customers get the data sovereignty requirements that they need, so that if their data has to be in Europe and remain in Europe, we can absolutely guarantee that. For example, um, yeah, and basically, so we set up to to meet those needs, and then obviously again, because we're open source and transparent, it also allows our customers the freedom to to move that data as they choose. It's their choice, right? They know if they're moving their data, it's because they've chosen to do it, not because of any rule that they're
mm.
unaware of.
Oh, great point. You also talk a lot about sustainability and eco-friendly data centers. I think everyone does that, but what's behind your push there in terms of being green?
Yeah, great. So right from the start, we have built our own data centers. So we don't, none of our machines are, are off the shelf kind of machines. They're all custom
Mm.
built with this water cooling. So we've got patents around our water cooling. And because
Oh,
the
wow.
machines are custom built, we own the value chain in terms of the components. So we can also, understand the carbon footprint of all the components and control that cost in the value chain, which means that we, our data centers are very energy efficient and also, meet all the green credentials. So we've also using the latest ISO standards in terms of how we measure our green credentials. And so world leading in terms of the way we've built our data centers and the credentials we have in terms of green. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And so just to summarize here, back to the startup program, do you care to call out any of your favorite children in the startup program? Anyone worth keeping an eye on in terms of up and coming startups and developers on the platform?
Yeah, well, some of the success stories that we do talk about are, for example, Data EQ that went through the startup
Mm,
program a number of years ago and is now a unicorn, and also other success stories like OpenIO that actually went through the
mm,
startup program a number of years ago and actually was purchased by OVHcloud and has become now our high performance object storage solution. So we can even be an exit opportunity for some of our members, although that's that's not our intention. That's the exception, not the norm. Um, but yeah, so we continue to see, as I said, we have a start level for startups and a scale level for scale ups. So we're focusing more and more on our scale level members as well, where we, outside of providing world class technology and support in that area, we also now have go to market um, offering as well called our Fast Forward Accelerator, where we
mm,
offering more visibility for our members. We've got a one-on-one mentoring for our members through our Mentoring for Startups program. We have showcase events that we run that give our members access to market and funding, and then we also have a content hub which gives you access to content to help accelerate your businesses as well. And And then, yeah, and then, just in terms of our footprint, I mentioned, having 42 water-cooled data centers around the world. We're also now really expanding our footprint over the next 3 years through the launching of local zones. So these will be effectively extensions of OVHcloud data centers in large cities to support latency sensitive applications. So we're going to have 150 of these local zones rolling out over the next 3 years, which is going to be, mean basically better performance for our customers, end users, and also better data compliance, along some of the lines that I mentioned. So these are some of the interesting things that are happening at the moment.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Exciting time. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention AI, and you have added GPUs to your portfolio. That must be a hot topic with customers and partners today.
Absolutely, yeah. So we do have now an end-to-end solution in terms of AI for our customers. So, and that obviously comes with the normal price, performance, and flexibility and interoperability that we offer. So you can prepare your data, train and deploy AI models with our solutions. And we even now have our AI endpoints, which is in alpha at the moment, where you can deploy high performance models like the Mistral large language model, for example. You can deploy those in your products and solutions through our AI endpoints. So, so that's over and above, just using our GPUs. We also have, end-to-end AI solutions which our customers can access. That's also all available on OVHcloud startup program credits as well. As I mentioned, startups and scale-ups get up to €100,000 or $120,000 in these free cloud credits that they can use to come and try out these AI solutions and build on our open, interoperable cloud.
Wow, what a great time to be building. It's a wonderful opportunity out there. And thanks so much for sharing just a peek behind the curtain. What are you excited about as we head into the summer? Maybe a little bit quieter. Any travel, any events coming up that are on your radar?
Yes, I mentioned our showcase events that we run. So we've got some local physical showcase events. I'll be attending one in Italy on the 13th of June. And then I'll be in Poland on the 19th and 20th of June for similar showcase events. Our showcase events, we bring together the VC community, industry, other enablers in the startup ecosystem, as well as our startups, our members, to create connections that flow into funding and access to market opportunities for our members. So I'll be attending those two events. Actually, another one as well in London on the 11th of June as well. So so you can look on our website to find out more about those events.
Fantastic. Well, no rest for the weary. Congratulations on all the success. It's wonderful to see a company not, one of the big three or four innovating and pushing the boundaries. My opinion, we can't have our tech landscape dominated by, four companies in the entire world. So much innovation, so much opportunity for customers. Thanks for joining, Philip, and sharing a bit of the vision and mission.
Yeah, great. And so our website, startup.ovhcloud.com. And I mentioned that FinOps white paper. I don't know if you can share the URL for that if any of the viewers are
Yeah, no,
interested to download
I'll
that.
put it in the posts and LinkedIn and Twitter and check it out. I found your website, Philip, very educational. Lots of great informative content. So well done there. Thanks for joining. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.